What up, Chicken Nuggets? Tyler here with Tarver Cards, and today we're going to talk about LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. We're going to talk about a little confrontation, get some thoughts, and I'd love to get your thoughts if you're on YouTube. If not, just say your thoughts out loud. Here we go. Okay, so in case you haven't been on social media in a few weeks, LeBron James stepped up on Stephen A. Smith on the sideline. It's during the third quarter of a game, and he walked up on him, and, you know, it was maybe just a dad protecting his son, or it's a sign that maybe, you know, athletes are finally stepping up to these people that just run their mouth, this hot take culture. Well, literally, we call it first take culture and Stephen A. Smith is like the king of first take. So he is, whenever you hear people talking about that and I view it as just like this gross, messy ball of gum that people just get stuck to because they don't know, they're not watching where they're walking and the algorithm throws them in their face. And he is like, first take is like the nucleus, the center of that. And so I've kind of split it up into a few parts, but I'd like to start with number one, the confrontation. LeBron confronting Stephen A. Smith. And I think it's pretty obvious. LeBron had a dad moment, and I have 3 kids. And if you're a dad, you know that feeling, you know, when somebody feels like they're using your kids, or if they're exploiting your kids, or just being unfair to your kids. And it like, you know, LeBron's not new to this. He's probably the best athlete we've ever seen with the age he came into the league, the amount of pressure he's had on him, and how consistent it's been. He's been one of the main voices in the league for 2 decades. And he's been one of the best media-trained people, or maybe he just has it in him to know how to handle that. He's never had any huge controversies. And it's like he's put up with it for so long, even to the point where he came out with his own like essentially channel for players to voice their opinion. I think it's called Undisputed. And he came out with that because, no, not Undisputed, Uninterrupted. That's it, Uninterrupted. And it's so that they have a place, literally to the name Uninterrupted. It means that I can get my voice out without being interrupted by reporters or someone else trying to build a narrative or get clicks. And I feel like Stephen A. Smith is the center of that. It's like LeBron is at the forefront of like players. I mean, he's been the forefront of player empowerment, but even like players taking control of their own narrative. And then you've got Stephen A. Smith, who is like the center of that, the opposite side of that, the side that is exploiting and making money off of this. And, you know, you want to say, well, no, he's just reporting on the game. Have you seen First Take? How much reporting are they doing, and how much are they like, hey, what's the most controversial thing we can do? Okay, what's the other side of it? Stephen A., which side do you want? Okay, JJ Redick or Kendrick Perkins or Max Kellerman. Y'all take the other side of it. Steph Curry's not the best. Yes, he is. Everybody knows it. Okay, I'll take Iguodala, all right? Like laser beam, aliens got the laser beam pointed at the earth. Give me Iguodala. You think he really meant that? No, he did not. He had to choose the other side, and Stephen A. gets first pick because he's the highest billed person. In that moment, I understand how LeBron James felt. Like I've had to confront people who have had ongoing issues with my kids. Granted, I don't have that many cameras pointed on me whenever I do it, but he stepped up on him. And like, it's like people that don't like LeBron, they're going to find any reason to hate on LeBron. Haters, if you will. They're going to hate on LeBron. And I didn't like LeBron for the first like 13 years of his career. It's because we graduated high school the same year, and I was just jealous that he was better at me at literally everything I cared about. Like, he was funnier. He was better at, what else? He was better at basketball, which I liked. He was better at everything. And so I was just like, I'm just jealous. I'm not going to like this guy because I'm jealous. But then once you start watching his career, you have to respect how he's handled things in so many areas. You don't have to. I do. I respect how he's handled things. And honestly, stepping on with Stephen A., I was glad he did. He didn't do it to where the cameras could hear it. He walked up, looked him in the eyes, and said it to him. If Michael Jordan would have said that, he was like, oh, he's got that dog in him. If anybody that you like would have said it, you'd have been for it. It's this whole like pick a side culture, and it's like cognitive bias. You find every reason and turn every narrative to fit the people you like and to be against the people you don't like. So if you don't like LeBron for it, step back and think how you felt if MJ did that. Think how I felt with MJ doing that. It's honestly very similar. It reminded me a little bit of the Will Smith of the Oscars, like, keep my son's name out of your mouth. He didn't slap him. Well, that's just great because he's going to jail. You know, I can see Stephen A. like, oh no, you know, calling the police. That's what he'd have done. But it was a public setting, and it was still a private conversation. And like, Stephen A's like, you can come on my show. Yeah, because you want to make money. You'd make so much money if LeBron James came on your show. You would. That's why you want it, because you want you can come visit me in private. No, bro. Like, why would he want to? All you're going to do is use those stories to pump up. I've seen, the one thing I've noticed about LeBron, he's not going to provide you free gasoline to light your fire and get more and more publicity based off of him. So it's like, he's a little more nuanced with it. He's not perfect, obviously, but he's more nuanced with it. Okay, so now let's talk about Stephen A. Smith, aka the Take Factory, if you will. He's like he's the Vince McMahon of sports media. And every single topic, he turns it into a WWE storyline. And that's what we're talking about today. I'm serious. The dude just wakes up and decides what opinion he's going to throw at the world. It's like, I don't know. I think Kendrick Perkins has been on like an all-time heater for terrible takes. And it's just like, bro, nothing you say is right. Have y'all noticed this? Have you noticed the people that are the most confident in what they say are the most wrong most of the time, but they don't have the awareness to do it? Or maybe he's just paid a lot of money to go up there and say the ridiculous thing to get clicks, and then let Stephen A. defend it and try to look like he's correct. But we all know the move. It's like, yeah, he's come out since. Stephen A. has come out since. And he did a couple podcasts and they popped up on my feed. And he was like, oh, I didn't step up because I didn't want to create a scene. I didn't want to do this. I was like, no, bro. You just had LeBron James, who's got more aura than you can even Google, standing in your face and you shriveled up. It's okay, bro. Everybody, when they get in those conflicts, sometimes we come out and we're like, yeah, I can brag about that. And sometimes we come out and be like, man, I wish I'd have said this. I wish I'd have done this. It's okay to be the latter, my boy. It's okay to make mistakes. Let's talk about why he even went up to him. Bronny James, or as Stephen A. Smith thinks of him, as the clickbait gold mine, all right? His last name, his whole name, James, it's like, it's ESPN. It's just their eyes are lighting up. Like they can see cha-ching, cha-ching, like the Johnny Manziel money thing whenever they saw that coming in. You think they absolutely want it so that they could start running their mouth about it. If we're being honest, okay, I'm giving Tyler's opinion on Bronny James. Oh, he shouldn't be the league. Here's the deal. When you take a second round pick out of the hundreds taken in the past few years, I think less than 5 are names you would have even heard of, unless they had a run in March Madness. So your second round pick is when you take chances. A lot of lottery picks, most lottery picks are out of the league within like 3 to 4 years. So it's okay to take a risk on somebody who's a great kid. You're going to put him with his dad. Yes, it is a publicity thing. Yes, it is. You know why? Because basketball is entertainment. If it was for love of the game, all these people be playing at the YMCA for free. But it's not. It's entertainment. It's why we all pay a bunch of money to go, why we have shows that Stephen A. Smith is on. It's about making money. If these teams don't make money, they don't exist. If the league doesn't make money, it doesn't exist. That is the point of this. And so if you can take a second round guy, which would have been in your G League and then probably dropped within a few months, look at the other guys taken around him. You don't know their names. Look them up. You know what Bronny James did? I heard this getting Gilbert Arenas, which usually doesn't make great takes, but he gave this stat and I looked it up. They have sold 500,000, which is 500,000 jerseys, Bronny James jerseys. 500,000 jerseys. It was almost immediate when they sold those. Fanatics, I think, is who sold them, obviously. That means the Lakers made $50 million. They gave him a $2 to $5 million guarantee contract. They made 10 times that in the first 2 weeks because they sold those jerseys. He's literally, they don't have to play him. JJ will toss him in at the end of games when they're way ahead or way behind. He's getting reps. Here's my thought. Yes, he could have stayed in college and done a couple more years. Maybe. But the only reason you do that is to build up your draft stock. He was going to get drafted. Guarantee contract. He's going to get out there. He's going to get to be with his dad. Get reps under the best person in the world he could be underneath. If I have my kids, I'm going to want them to be near me, especially if they're walking into something that destroys a lot of guys because they can't handle that at 18, 19 years old. And he's going to develop his skills better. He's going to develop his skills faster. He's going to be playing against grown men, not college kids, and he doesn't have to worry about all the stuff that's a distraction for kids that are staying in college, which, again, I was a college dean. I love college. Be in college. I think it's great. But if you're on the track, Bronny James doesn't need to go to college to get an education. Do I want him to? I think he should. Yeah, that's dope. But he doesn't have to. You know why? Because people go there to build up their resume, to network, to build up certain life skills so that they can go out and get good jobs. He's probably going to do fine. His dad's a billionaire. okay? He's going to do fine. And his trajectory of where he wants to go is basketball focused. He's going to get to focus on, he doesn't have to worry about classes or, oh, there's parties or this or that. He's going to have scrutiny there too. Why not go there, be in and out of the G League, jump in on the bench, be around NBA players with your dad right beside you? If I'm a dad and I have the pull LeBron has, you think I'd do the same thing? Absolutely. Okay? And you're like, well, what if other people do it? Cool. I think that is incredible. If he would have taken him, if they would have taken him second, I didn't have the second pick, but say they took him in the first round, then I understand, like, wow, look at all the players you took over him. But at the end of the second round, he's one of the last picks in the draft. I think that's okay to, he's a Nepo baby. The trend you hear in Hollywood. People act so shocked when these famous kids get opportunities, but that's how business, entertainment, and the world works. And you're like, well, but the difference is he's putting on a jersey. Yeah, but he's not putting on a jersey starting above Austin Reeves. He's going in and getting reps. You're betting on LeBron James's genes and a great kid who just didn't have the growth spurt he needed to be able to compete at the level. This dude was cooking people, one of the top prospects in high school. So why not bet on that? They bet on Michael Porter Jr., the Nuggets did. He had back problems. No guarantee he's going to work out, and he did okay. He's not the best player in the league, but he did better than a lot of teams thought he would. That's the business of being in the NBA and the business of being LeBron James and related to him and working with LeBron James. The Lakers are going to do what they can to keep people happy. They threw away several seasons because they wanted to do right by Kobe Bryant. They gave Swaggy P a contract. You think they're not going to invest in LeBron James and his son? I absolutely think they will. Could he be a solid role player? Maybe. He's got some sparks. The key to anything in life and being great at anything and to having a career in that league, and you can disagree if you want, is consistency. You have to be consistently great. It's not about this or that. Malachi Flynn scored 50 points in a game last year. You ain't heard Malachi's name since. I think it was last year. It might have been 2 years ago. You haven't heard it since no matter what. It's about consistency. Can you consistently come out and contribute on a team, either as a star, a role player, or a glue guy? What are you doing to contribute? The NBA is part sports. It's part entertainment. And Bronny is both a prospect and a storyline for a lot of these people. So what is social media's role in this whole mess? LeBron James addresses Stephen A. in person, to his face, not expecting it. I love it. As somebody who's had to confront people, I love it. Personally, I think it's amazing. As a dad, awesome. You're like, oh, well, he's going to get talked about. He's in the league. Absolutely. And plenty of people LeBron has not addressed that talk about Bronny constantly. And you saw it in whenever he went and talked to Richard Jefferson, they could see it on the camera. The reason LeBron James addressed it is because Stephen A. had ran out of storylines about Bronny because they were treating him like a second-round pick, which he is. He has started delving into LeBron James as a father. And from everything I can see, LeBron James is an amazing dad. Like, show me how he's not a good dad based on anything you can prove that's not just a made-up rumor. He seems like a great dad. He's got great kids. Him and his wife seem to get along. Like, that's a great thing. And I don't know why we don't elevate that. Why is Stephen A. Smith not elevating how great of a dad he's being to his kids? Like, yes, you can criticize if J.J. Redick puts Bronny James in the second quarter and he's not ready. I get that. Criticize away. And I don't think that's what bothered LeBron. I think it's whenever he stepped into him as a dad and kept just literally just pulling everything he could out of his son's name to try to get clicks. Stephen A. plays the algorithm better than almost anyone. He's the human version of a thumbnail clickbait going like this. You know what I mean? Like where they make the surprise face and you're just like, oh. And I have YouTube videos. I know that statistically those do better. Look at what Mr. Beast did. I get that. But it's still so frustrating. And this guy's making, $100 million from ESPN off of it. And then they're cutting people like, Zach Lowe? They're cutting people who do like real journalism for people that get the clicks. And so if Stephen A's your guy over LeBron, like cool, whatever. But for me, as a dad, I'm rolling with LeBron on this one. And I think, like if we're talking, well, this is a sports card podcast. Yeah, it is. You want to know why the Lakers probably invested in him? The same reason that if you go to a card show, Bronny James, his rookie cards and his Bowman U cards, they sell a lot more than players that did better than him in the draft. It's because people care about stories and they care about potential investments. That's what the Lakers have done, and they're leaning into it. Now, Stephen A., his side of it, I literally saw it today. Oh my gosh. It popped up on my feed today. Stephen A was on another podcast. Oh my, can I also say this? I should have started this whole thing by saying, I didn't want to talk about it. I wasn't going to talk about it. But then when it went viral and took off, I had to talk about it. Tune in now because we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. Because that's what he said. He's like acting like he wasn't going to talk about Kevin Love. You've made fun of. I was like, that's incredible. I saw Kevin Love at the Memphis game, and when he was signing something for us, I go, how does it feel to be the best NBA player, have the best NBA Instagram on the planet? And he's like, man, I'm trying. I was like, it was pretty cool. I'll post that video sometime. But it was funny because like he was even mocking Stephen A, saying like, oh, I wasn't going to talk about it till. Yes, you were. And that's why LeBron don't want to meet with you or talk to you, because you're just going to run your mouth about what he says and just try to get, you'll make a ton of money out of it. And I don't think LeBron's in the business. He's in the business of elevating his friends and family and the people he cares about, not the people that are just leeches on him. His favorite quote, and it's my favorite quote too, not because of LeBron. I was my favorite quote before I found out. So I had it first, LeBron, class of 03, is The Man in the Arena by Theodore Roosevelt. And it talks about how it's not the critic who counts, but the man that's in the arena actually doing the work. And that's how LeBron lives, because he's had so many people, so many critics telling him what he was and wasn't going to do. And so I just respect that. And I think Stephen A embodies that critic from that quote, and and LeBron embodies that man in the arena. But I think, honestly, Stephen A probably sees himself as the man in the arena because he's on camera giving ridiculous takes. But that's also him and his brand. But I saw today, it popped up in my algorithm. It was Stephen A on another podcast, and he was saying something like, the real reason you're mad, we ain't never going to talk. We might never talk again. We're not cool with each other. And you know the real reason, LeBron, it's because you're not my GOAT. Michael Jordan is my GOAT. I'm like, yeah, LeBron James doesn't like you because of that. Not because of your entire like brand and how ridiculous you are and how you just leech off of all these crazy stories and all this clickbait and the way that your media rolls. Like, it's absolutely insane to me. I say that as a brand new podcaster. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But seriously, like, I know you're like, Tyler, aren't you trying to capitalize on this situation? I mean, sure. Like, I'm not going to make any money off this. Like, I'm just saying it because I wanted to talk about it. Now, granted, would I make money? Yes, I accept money. Cash App and Venmo, my boy. Actually, Cash App's the one I like. What do y'all like in the comments? I'm joking. But seriously, like, that's kind of how this is. We're all giving thoughts and opinions. And I think where he crossed the line is where he started attacking LeBron as a father and the family side of it, as opposed to talking about the game. And LeBron, that frustrates him so bad, he literally started a podcast with his now head coach called Mind the Game, because he wants to talk about the game of basketball more than all these side stories. I like the aspects of the stories. I think that's what makes basketball the best sport, is because of all the personalities in the stories and how close we get to the players. But I also know there's a line for me, and first take ain't my vibe. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Are you team Stephen A? Are you team LeBron? Are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know in the comments if you're on YouTube. If not, if you're on Apple or Spotify, feel free to like, subscribe, hit that follow button. This is Delilah. Thank you for tuning in to B98.5. Y'all be good, stay sweet, and never stop collecting. Sports cars are dope. So are you.